What up, guys? Welcome to the box with Gustavo Matic. Now, this is a new road for this channel. I hope you like. I'm just gonna get inside this box and we're gonna discuss some trippy subjects. So, fast forward, the subject today is dreams. I've been having trippy dreams, and I think people around the planet are having the same dreams. So let me summarize so nobody gets bored in the box, because the box it's meant to be cool. Okay. Now the box can keep going on as I smoke my cigarette, alright? So basically this night I've dreamed about alien invasion, and it kind of tripped me out because it was so vivid, and I actually had dreams past week that were spiritual dreams too. But basically in the dream, um, I was in a house. It wasn't my house. It was a very simple house, and just something appeared in the sky, like, and that was, damn, it started. Like, I already knew what probably was gonna happen. So then I I realized it was dangerous, like, and somehow I knew, like, I was expecting that, and I knew I should close all windows. So I had this urgency to close all windows. I've rushed to close all windows, but there was some windows I couldn't close, and because I didn't close those windows, it was getting inside. Like somehow it was like tentacles, but it had smoke along with it. It was very weird, and somehow I can't really explain the atmosphere, but it was like it showed up in the sky and suddenly it was everywhere. Like, I think all homes were being attacked simultaneously. I'm not sure. I just know that it happened to be on my house for some reason. So what gets trippy here is that I had this how can I say, I was sure in the morning, I was sure this was a symbolic dream or a spiritual warning, or maybe a real warning that this event might happen somehow. And I don't want to sound crazy, so I just kept it to myself. And I commented in a post in the internet, like, it was a meme, but I've written like, I've been having alien invasion dreams, no cap. And then a person commented, it answered my comment, and it said, "Oh my God, I had this dream tonight." And that was I then elaborated more about my dream. I was like, so I was in a house, not my house. Started something came from the sky, and we had to close all windows. And somehow I couldn't close one, and it started getting inside. But along, at least it's a warning that you should close all windows. And then the guy was like, "Oh my God, that's crazy! It's exactly like my dream." And then I was like impressed, like, oh, this guy had a dream exactly like mine tonight. But then I was like, what's the chance somebody in the world has the same dream as someone else in the same day? Probably. Probably it's normal. But then I made the real test. Like, my mom was standing in the living room, and I was like, "Hey mom, what you dream tonight?" And she said she had a very vivid dream, and she started telling me that it was a trip. She was with some random people, and then I was like, my dream was about alien invasion. And then she was like, she remembered, she was like, Oh yes, my dream had this invasion too. We had to close all windows, and I was like, damn, what? So me, that guy from the comments, and her, which is close, she's right on the next bedroom. So, what the chance? What's the chance? Like, anybody else having these dreams? Anybody else having these dreams? Because they seem so important. They seem like some real stuff, like some shit I've been waiting for. And I know I've been waiting for. I'm no silly. I'm no silly. I'm wise. I have knowledge. Okay, spiritual knowledge, religious knowledge. Um I just feel like I was born to see this shit. And I feel like, oh my god, it's happening. Like my soul be like, it's now, everything is now. It's actually almost late. It's like, a few years ago, everything was so awesome. Suddenly, everything is decaying. Like, it's possible that we still have more about human history to live. Probably. We probably gonna see a bunch of shit yet, still. And it's gonna impress much more, even though it's gonna be weird. Because in the past, things were manifesting from bad times and nothing to something. Like, everything was something. Everything was something. Everything was so original. People were true, you know? Then it started being a problem because the internet, all that shit started changing people, right? And now there is more of these different people, right? With different thoughts. Anyways, I've gone so far, but I have yet another dream to talk about. And it was a week ago, I think, or more. I think it was a week ago. Uh, and it was a dream where I woke up and I was in a different house too. It was a good looking house. And I went to the window, and when I looked to the sky, there was four full moons, and these moons were aligned. These moons were aligned like a magical event, and that was like, I was waiting for that to happen too, like, and it was past week, it wasn't now. And many people had this dream. I've searched the internet. Many people had a dream of multiple moons showing up. In the end of the world was next. In everybody's dreams. All of these dreams in the internet with multiple moons in the sky was about the end of the world. So, doesn't matter if it's symbolic or if it's literally the end of the world. We gotta pay attention because something about to happen. And I believe that when we talk about changes in the spiritual world, if you want to say it's like symbolism from the spiritual, then it means we are gonna have to go through deep changes. Deep changes. Even if it's not literally the end of the world. But if it is, stay prepared. Stay prepared. Get yourself something to protect yourself, your family. I think that food, it's the most important thing. I can't afford to stock food. If you can, you're lucky. Stay safe, guys.